Hello everyone, it is Teresa from Teresa Silhouette Spot here in the group. Teresa Spot for step-by-step acrylic art. Fixing my chair. Hello! I gotta tell you guys, today is the perfect night, I'm gonna throw a comment in here, for me to be painting live with my people. I need it. It has been a long day. I'm just getting my screens all situated the way I need them, so I can see comments, but I can see me, and do what I need to do. So anyway, yes, it has been a long day, and here I am now, ready to paint with y'all. I have mine sketched out already, so while I'm chit-chatting, if you haven't traced yours or sketched it out, go right ahead, and we will get started. Let me move this lamp back a little bit. There we go. Okay. So, hi. It is so much, I'll tell you guys, it is so much more relaxing when I hop on to paint with all you, because in the world, and a lot of you makers that watch me on here, in the Facebook social media world, they say, you have to be ready to paint. Be ready. Be ready with your brush. Be ready to go. So when you go live, in 4 seconds, you can you can get someone's attention, and that you only have like 4 seconds to get somebody's attention, and it makes me very nervous to be ready to paint in my group when I go live on like Tuesdays and my regular Thursdays, or even when I pop on regular live. So it's so nice when I come here. Hi, Cindy from South Carolina. Hi from New York. It's so nice when I come here to paint with you guys. And you're here because you want to be here. You're here because we planned it. And I'm not anxiously waiting with brush in hand to be like, okay, let me start with my paint stroke so I don't, lose people and they want to see me. Anyway, so enough of my blabbing, okay? So I have got my design on here. And don't forget, if you're here to watch, totally fine. If you paint it after, please post it. If you're never going to paint it and you're here just to be entertained by me and my accent, that's fine too. It's all good. Okay? So, we are doing spring cactus. I have mine sketched out. I have some brushes. I also have a palette knife, which I don't know if I put on the list or not. If you have one, fine. If you have a plastic knife, fine. If you don't want a palette knife, that's fine. You know me. It's all fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I should put up one of my it's fine signs. So I have out my favorite color, patina. I have out black and white. And then I have out a multitude of greens. I have a dark green, a medium green, a light green, a yellow green. And we're going to get to that. So let me turn you all around and we will get started on our background while I chit chat. And yes, I have out my pinks too here for when we start our flowers, but I don't need them out right now, and I may end up putting them on a different palette. So for now, I just have out my greens and my patina. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to start adding a little bit. Oh, I didn't have to do that. Well, I guess a little bit of outline. I missed one. Look at that. A little bit of outline to my cactus. I like to do this way when I come in here to do my background. I know where to bring my eye to. Right? Now I'm not going to worry about, we have this greenery and stuff on here. I'm not going to worry about going around these. We'll just paint back over them with the greens. But for the vase, the container, and the big succulent, cactus, whatever you want to call them, I will make my line to go around them. And when we did these cactus, it's just a series of bumps. different shaped bumps. And that's it. So I'm coming in here. Our flower's going to come out here a little bit, so maybe I'll be a little bit light on my blue there, my patina. All right. And again, if you want to paint the edge, you can. I am not mixing colors for this background because I'm going to show you what we're going to do with some of the other colors that we have after we've painted our background, because we always want our background to be a variety of colors, to be unique. Sometimes I like my background to be artwork in itself before I even add the artwork to it, because then I'm like, you could even, you know, sometimes you want your background to be able to stand alone. So I am painting the edges, and we can go back and fancy them up. You can go look at previous videos of mine here and see, like, sometimes I add stripes, polka dots, different colors to my edges. Sometimes I just leave them plain. So if you need a smaller brush to get in the nooks and crannies, go right ahead. Use the brush that you are comfortable with. And I'm just base coating. So if you, come on, let me see what, I should show you guys my new drawer. I watched that out paint. Good idea, Cindy. I got the brush in my mouth. So, what was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. Anyway, use the brush you're comfortable with. You know, I like you guys all the time to use the colors that you like. Art started out as therapy for me. And my art growing into more of a business started in 2017 as really therapy for me. I had some stuff go on, and I'm all about being positive on here, and I rarely share my story, you guys. And maybe tonight's not even the night, but I did have a long day. But anyway, so I'm all about being positive, and I'm all about being here, hey Karen, to paint because you want to paint and you want to chill and you want to hang out with me, and that is good. That is reason enough for me. So if you're going to paint after, or you don't even like this one, it's fine. It's all good. I want you to use this time that I provide painting any way it helps you. So if it is helping you learning a technique for something else, awesome. If it is helping you chill a little bit after a long day, awesome. If it is helping you get a laugh because you like the way I say awesome, or coffee because I'm from New York and you're from the South or the Midwest, awesome. I'm here because I like to paint. I like sharing my painting, and I want you guys to be here for whatever reason you find to be here. Hey, Sandy. And that is why I do this. So there is my background. I've done my edges where it's going to be blue. So I didn't do the bottom. Okay, I've just done all the rest. Sometimes I see brush marks, which I don't like. So, and if you have brush marks and you don't like them, be a little bit more patient than me and wait for your painting to dry, and then you can fix them easier. Okay, so I have a little cheat sheet here. I like the way you say Karen. Well, Karen, I'm not sure, you spell your name differently than I'm used to. So I don't know if your name is Karen, because in my world, it's always been Karen, Karen. So I'm thinking that your name is Karen, and I say Karen, but I don't know. And so I guess you could put in there, like if your name is Karen, you could put in the Kar, capital O, capital N, or maybe it is Karen, and you just like the way I say it. I don't know. So anyway, I have my little cheat sheet here, well here, because I don't want to lose my place when I'm painting with you guys. UPS is here. It's awful late for UPS. It's like 7:10 in this part of the world. Interesting. Anyway, he's going to wonder why I don't answer the door maybe because he can see me. I'm right in front of the house in the window. But anyway, it's pronounced like, oh, it is pronounced like Karen. So I just say it weird. Okay. It's just me and my accent. That's okay. Sometimes APHFM tells me, I don't understand what you're saying with that accent. Okay, I don't know. I've lived on Long Island my whole life. I think it's the interweb world that has gotten me to have a little bit of a different accent because I think I pick up, like I say y'all now, so I think I pick up what other people say and now have acquired this, odd accent. Anyway, but it is more New York and Long Island than anything. Yes, it's your cute. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Karen. Okay, so now I washed my brush and I'm picking up some white and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do the vase. Now, is this a vase or a vase? Or can we just say it's a container? Or if I was being less careful, I would say a container. So I'm coming down here, and I've mentioned this before, so I have my hearts on here because there's hearts on the vase. When I add elements, like these flowers or these hearts, I trace them. I was going to grab my paper, but it's not within reach. I trace them much smaller than they are in the final design. And I've said this before, but not everybody is always here. When you're painting, and especially as a beginner, when you paint something, you're constantly, oh, I have to fix it. Oh, I have to fix that. Oh, I have to fix that. And your element tends to grow. So if I had this flower here and I drew the flower on the size it was supposed to be, and then we was like, ooh, 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 and we keep fixing it, before you know it, this flower is like taking over half the vase. So when I did this flower and the little hearts on here, which you really can't see right now, I did them smaller. I do them within the element on the tracer. Okay. Now I'm just going to pick up, I have white on my brush, a lot of white on my brush. I'm just going to put like a corner of it in the black, and then I'm going to make some gray here. And I'm going to paint the bottom, which is like the table that our arrangement is sitting on, with this color. And it can be as dark or as light. In my sample that I painted, I actually did it purple. And I liked the purple. I thought that was cool. But for this one, I'm going to keep it gray, match the sample that I sent, and do it the gray. And I'm just going to scoop out that little part for our flower. So yes, so today was a long day, ladies. It doesn't matter how old our kids are. They can still be stressing us sometimes. My girls are 28 and almost 26. And sometimes the 26-year-old doesn't get it. There's no other way to... Sometimes she just doesn't get it. So today was one of those days. So I had a little bit of a stressful day dealing with that. And then, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like even though I'm doing the edges now again. Sometimes I feel that even though I'm a woman of a certain age, I must still have hormones going up and down and mood swings, and it's not fun. And today might have also been one of those days. So I'll tell you, when I first came on, I was very excited to be here painting with you guys. And thank you, because you are my people. And I love painting. And I love painting with you guys when I know you've been waiting and hanging out, ready to go. And I hope you look as forward to me painting on these Thursday nights with you guys as I do to paint with you guys. Okay, there's some spots here and I'm just touching it up. But I didn't want to overmix my gray or my black. I left this part a little dark because we want the top of the table to be a little shaded. If yours isn't dark, we can go back in later and make it darker. And we have our base coat there. So I'm going to wash my brush again. Okay. And give it a little squeeze to get out my water. So I should show you guys. So I don't know if you guys remember, but if you go back and look, you'll see I was constantly reaching over across to get to my mouse and my keypad. Now look what I have. I have a drawer. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So I love this. So now I have it like right here. I'm not reaching and reaching and reaching. So let's pick this up. So this is what we have so far. Doesn't look like much, right? But you know, our paintings go through stages. So we have our background and our little table, desk, end table, whatever you want it to be. Whatever it is in your home. Hey, look, my earrings match the painting. Kinda. I think there's a little bit more green. Cool. That was not planned. They just, well, I guess it kind of was because it's been my favorite color. Right? Right. So, listening as I drive. Oh, Jerry, you know what? That's awesome, Jerry, because I listen to audiobooks and people on the interweb when I drive too. So sometimes I don't want to listen to music. Sometimes I just want to chill. So, okay, I'm going to show you guys both ways. So I have a palette knife. You can use a plastic knife as well, or neither. You can just use a brush. And we're going to, add a little bit of texture to the back of our, the background of our project. And so my palette knife fell into this green, and I'm just going to use it. Okay? So with a palette knife, you want to lay it next to your painting and give it a scrape. You want to hear it scrape. Okay? I think you can hear me too. Hear it scrape. So I'm over here. My palette knife is at a 45 and I'm scraping. There are different ways to paint with a palette knife. Some people like when they use the palette knife, they use it as a different technique and they want their painting to be very thick. When I do the palette knife, I like to use it in a scraping effect. I'm also going to come in here with my dirty palette knife and pick up some white, and that's it. I don't know if you saw that. I just slid it through the edge here, picked up a little bit on the white, and I'm going to come in here, I'm going to lay it at a 45 and scrape. Again, I'm going to take my palette knife, I'm going to slide it through here. I'm going to bring it up here, just lay it at like a little bit of a 45 and scrape down. And you don't want too much. You don't want to be overbearing. A little bit up here. And then a tiny, look at that, tiny bit of black. Another tiny bit for the other side. Now, say you got all done with this and you were like, whoa, I'm not liking that. It's okay. You can pick up your patina and paint right over it once it's dry. And that would be that. So, nothing to fret about. Okay? So I think that's going to get closer in here a little bit. But that's going to be it. So now we could have used the same technique Let me do a little bit in between here. So we could use the same technique on the bottom where we have the table. I'm just gonna put this in the water. But I'm gonna show you a little bit of the technique that we could. Now you could use the palette knife up here and down here. You can mix and match like I'm doing. You could only use the brush if you want. So now I'm gonna use the brush, and I'm only going to put a little bit of paint on my brush, and I'm going to brush it off. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to pull in some of the same colors with a very, very light touch and not a lot of paint. Now I'm going to pick up some white. That's it. Not too much. I'm not loading my brush like you ordinarily see me do. I'm going to come over here to my paper towel. I'm going to wipe it off. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm going to add some white. Get a little bit more, wipe it off, and then put the white. And then again with the black. Tiny bit. That's it. Not a lot. I'm going to wipe it off on my paper towel. And then I'm going to come in here and add in some black. Now, maybe later on, I want more gray or I want more black lines, but that's where we're going to leave it for now. We're going to sit with it. We're going to let it steep a little bit in our minds, and we're going to move on. Okay? How's everybody doing? Let me see. Let me see if there's any. Okay, we're all good. Okay, so I'm going to get out the smaller brush again, and we're going to move on to our cactus. Now there's pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4 in here. I would say this one is more of an extension of this one, but there's 4 main cactus in here. So cactus reminds me, because now there's succulents. Just like antipasta in the Italian world, antipasta and meat and cheese are now charcuterie. You know, it's better to say charcuterie now, and it's better when you have cactus to say succulents. So we have to, you know, we have to stay up with the times. Okay. So I'm going to, I guess, go into my medium. I'm going to pick up my medium green. This happens to be Deco Art Medium Hauser, but any medium green will do. And if you only have 2 greens, that's totally fine, because what you can do is add white or black to them and darken them up or lighten them up. So you don't have to worry about that. And then you know what? If you only have 2 greens, you can use them however you want. And then when you add the details, that'll add enough variety to your painting as well. You know what? I'm not the color police. I'm not the art police. Like I said, I want you guys to just be here and enjoying yourself. Okay, so that's our first cactus. I'm going to do this one in the back. I'm not going to wash my brush, but I am going to pick up a little bit of the light. And this is Hauser Light. And these are Deco Art. Tonight I'm using mostly Deco Art colors. And that's Deco Art. Oh, I forgot to do this little extension. Let me do the little extension up here. So there's that. And then there's this little bump up here. There we go. So again, going back to the middle one, I picked up a little bit of this light on the same brush, and this one is just a tad lighter than the first one. And if you want to use the chisel edge, you can. And we're just going to come up and swoop down. and do this part as well. Okay? Okay. Now I'm going to go still with the dirty brush. There's no reason to wash our brushes. And I'm coming in here and I'm doing these next two with the dark green. And this is just the base coat. We're just following in what we drew in before we started. Okay. And again, now that I'm doing this dark over here, I'm using my dirty brush, but I'm going to pick up some light and go in here. Because we want a variety of colors. But I'm going to show you how we're going to make them different anyway. So even if you're using the same colors, when I show you how we're going to add all the details, which you can see from the picture I posted, all our cactus are going to look unique. These are some new canvas I got, and I will say I just got them yesterday at Michael's. I think they're Artist Loft, and for some reason I want this one a little darker. The divots, the canvas, the canvassing, whatever you want to call it, on this canvas are very deep. So I've been having a little bit of trouble getting in the nooks and crannies, and I don't know if that's should be right. But we're gonna deal with it. It's okay. It's fine, right? It's fine, y'all. So there we go. We have our cactus based in. Okay? Base coated in. Now I'm going to move this plate out of the way. We're not done with that one, but I'm going to move it out of the way and I'm going to get up my pinks. So I have Royal Fuchsia just joining in while I wait for... Oh, good for you, Melissa. I'm glad to be here to entertain you while you wait for, I think, your child, I can't see the whole thing, at soccer practice. Melissa, is it cold where you are waiting for soccer practice? Wait for girls to get done with soccer practice. Okay. Is it cold, Melissa? Because if you watch me, you know I love iced coffee, but I hate the cold. And I will whine about it until I give you a headache. I'm putting out 2 pinks. I think the list says 3 pinks. I'm just using 2. And that's fine. Okay? So, all right. I washed my, my one daughter played soccer. And she liked it. She played soccer in the fall, basketball in the winter, and then lacrosse in the spring. Finally in the 60s today. We're supposed to hit 80. Oh, God bless you, Melissa. That's awesome. It was like 40 today. So that's nice. So yeah. And then my other daughter ran cross country, did basketball in the winter, and lacrosse in the spring. And I loved it. My favorite seasons were the seasons that they were 2 years apart. So my favorite seasons were the seasons that they did basketball and lacrosse together before one graduated when the other one was older. Anyway, so I'm going into the Royal Fuchsia. And for lack of a better word, we're just going to say blob. And I'm just blobbing the Royal Fuchsia in here. We don't want a perfect circle. We don't want perfect edges. We want it to hang out here a little bit. That's why I made it smaller. It's going to hang over on our table. And we're just blobbing it in there. I want to have nice I don't want to have dry edges, but I don't want to have perfect edges, perfect round circle edges either. I just want a blob. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do the same thing. Just a blob. This one I'm going to keep up in the container, but I will go over the cactus and bring it up here a little bit. And again, just a blob. No shape to it. Okay? How easy was that? And now I'm in Northwest, I think you're saying I'm in Northwest Missouri. I'm in very eastern New York. Southeastern New York. So I'm not even going to wash my brush, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to pick up the light pink, and I'm just going to start, again, adding in the light pink inside our first blob and making it a new blob. And some of it is picking up, so some of it is darker, some of it is lighter, and we're just making a smaller blob with our light pink inside our darker fuchsia blob. And that's it. Okay, and again, I'm going to wash my brush. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go put my pinks up here and bring back my greens. Let's give you guys a minute. I don't know if anybody's painting, but I will give you guys a minute and pick it up. This way, if you want to see. Here we are so far. So pretty much at this point, everything is base coated. Our background, our tabletop, our vase, all of our cactus, and then the 2 coats for our flowers. Okay? So before we move on, I want to tell you guys, this is what I'm painting. This is my premiere class next week. So next Wednesday, the 27th, it is in events on my main page, Teresa's Silhouette Spot for All Things Art. And this is what I'm painting in the Zoom. And you guys, the barn is so cool. I loved painting the barn. And look at that fence. And I'm telling you guys, all of this, honestly, most of the background, these trees were all done with this crappy chip brush. Okay? So you can do it. So if you want to learn how to paint this, you want to paint this with me, I'm doing it premiere class next Wednesday. So you can go to that in the events. Then I want to show you my new kits. Now these are being separate, the one flamingo and the other flamingo. These are separate kits. However, I'm going to sell them together as a mommy and me. Isn't that adorable? So this is going to be a kit, this is going to be a kit, and then the third option is together as a mommy and me. And of course, it has the patina. Thank you, Sandy. So these are going to get listed this weekend. Okay? I got to take some good pictures. And of course, my kits come pre-traced with paint and brushes, instructions, and a link to the video. Okay? So we just broke for that little commercial break, and now we'll hop back on here. Okay, so you guys can use, at this moment, we're going to work on our leaves. We're going to work on these branches. Oh, here we go. These branches that come out. So you can use a round brush, a liner brush, or the little flat brush that we were using. Okay? And I'm going to probably pick up the medium green, and I can still see my lines. And I'm going to come in here, and I have a nice chisel edge on my brush. And I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to draw one stalk, and then the other. And then I'm going to come down here and draw the other stalk coming up. Okay? And now again, we can use this brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this light. It's like a yellow green. And we can use, I'm going to show you both ways. We can use our flat brush and just go in here and do left, right, left, right, left, right on an angle. Pick up a little bit of this yellow green and work our way down the entire stalk, stem, whatever you want to call it, all the way to our flower. Or how much is the kits and the barn? So the barn to paint with me is 15, and the kits, I think they're going to be on an 11 by 14. The kits are $17.95 with, like I said, the paint, the brushes, step-by-step instructions if you'd rather read the instructions, or then a video. Okay, and that is the $17.95 is shipped. Okay, so now, or then it's $15.95, and that, Cindy, that's a Zoom class. So that's where you do not have to be on camera. I will be on camera, but you will be able to, we can interact back and forth. It's much easier for somebody to say, oh, excuse me, could you show me that again? Or could you look at what I'm doing? And my Premiere classes are on Zoom, so you can get feedback like right then and there. Okay? So now I'm going to show you on the round brush. So again, I'm going to pick up with the round brush, and I'm just going to swipe it over here a little bit in the yellow green. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just laying it down on an angle. Need more paint. Probably get like 3 or 4 out of it. 2, 4. Yep. Gonna pick up more of the dark paint, swipe it into the light, and work my way again down the stalk, the stem, the leaf stem, whatever you want to call it. I get a little bit longer as I move down, but I'm basically just laying down this round brush. Pick up some more paint. Okay, so I showed you the 2 ways you can do that. Yeah, I use this this group with my step-by-step instructions. I feel like these paintings, you guys probably feel like they're extremely challenging. The paintings on the Zoom are a little bit more involved. Not that they aren't beginner level. They're definitely beginner level, and beginners can paint them too. But they're just a different kind of painting. And that's why I do them on the Zoom, and I can give you feedback right then and there. People seem to like painting with me on the Zoom because then we can talk and I can see their hands and stuff. When I teach my workshops, all my workshops are done via Zoom. So there we have our leaves. This is a little bit thin in here, but that's okay. We want to be able to see our background through there. It does not have to be full coverage. And then I'm going to wash my round brush. Okay. So you guys, I have to tell you, I came home a little bit stressed. I alluded to, you know, kids. And hopped on here, and you guys, thank you. Thank you. I feel so much better. I'm here painting, doing my thing. Okay. Now I'm going to show you, let me get a piece of paper. I can use this piece of paper. I'm going to show you how I do my hearts too. I'm going to use the round brush again in the black. Okay? Our hearts are going to go in the vase. And so you get some paint on your round brush, and then you do 1, 2. I'll show you guys again. Paint on your round brush, and you lay it down, and you lay it down. Cool, huh? Okay. And that is all I'm going to do. So I'm going to get this. I'm going to come in here where I had them. And depending on how much pressure you put, that's how you decide how big your heart's going to be. Oh, missed that one. Okay. And there's nothing perfect about them. Nothing has to be perfect about them. And that's it. I'm just pushing down and pushing down. And then pushing down and pushing down. Okay? I'm going to put another little one down in here. Okay. Alrighty then. All right, now I am definitely going to go to my liner brush. So far we've pretty much only used, well, I used the big brush. Did I use the big brush for the, oh yeah, we used the big brush for here. But we didn't have to, we could have used the small brush. So I used a big flat, a little flat, and now a round brush. I'm falling behind. Oh, Sandy, yes! Where are you? What step are you on? Oh, and I so love that you're painting with me. But yeah, the replay is here. So they never, I do move them from the front of the page to the units. So if you go and look, I don't know if they're called units or guides now, or, you know, Facebook changes stuff like every day. And that's okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so the videos do not go away. They're all there for you. So, but that's awesome that you're painting with me. But anyway, I was going to now my liner brush. Okay. So I'm going to get a little bit of white. When I use my liner brush, I like to twirl it. And we're going to do this one and this one. And we want a starting point on both. Pink flowers, awesome. Thank you, Sandy. Don't forget, if you want to share, this is a no judgment zone. So if you want to share, thank you. I would love to see. And everybody starts out as a beginner, right? Yes. So, and don't, you know what, Sandy? If you're still in the flowers, and that's fine, and I understand. Don't get hung up on your blob, on your dark blob or your light blob, because we have more details to add to the flowers, and you will see, I mean, mine, they're literally blobby. When we go back with our liner brush and we start adding all the details, you will see how your painting all of a sudden comes to life. So I tend to move quickly doing the base coat, and I actually do consider the blobs part of the base coat. Anyway, so we have a main point up here at the top of this one and a main point up here at the top of this one. And now I'm going to just go in and I'm going to lightly start pulling down curvy. Oh, you see, I can't talk and pull down curvy. Okay, I won't stress. Yeah, don't stress over your blob, Sandy. I'm pulling down from the center up here these thin white lines. And I'm just gonna, this one goes here, so let's pretend that it went behind the flowers and came out. Okay? And the same thing up here. I'm trying not to put my arm in my paint. So we're going to do one line. Then we're going to do the next line. Then I'm going to add one little one out here. Okay? Then we're going to add the next one. And then the next one. Okay? I'm going to clean my brush. And now using the same brush, I like to add my dots with the back of my brush. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start adding polka dots to these cactus. And if I just dip it once, it's a big dot. But if I go in and I bring it over, they get smaller. And I'm going to put some graduated ones here. I start on the bottom and I work my way up. So as I work my way up, dotting, it naturally becomes smaller as I run out of paint. Okay, then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start adding in dots on this one as well. See, once we start adding all the details, your painting gets transformed. So we don't really want to have to, you can't really judge it until we're done. And even then, you can always change whatever you want because it's paint and you can go right over it. So we did those dots. I'm going to continue now with the dots with my handle of my black brush. And I'm just going to add a few dots to my vase. Now how cute is this design with these little boho imperfect hearts and black dots? Isn't that cute? You can use this container and put any kind of florals in it or anything you want. Okay? So now I'm going to stick with my liner brush and I'm going to go back to my pink. Okay? And I'm going to use the dark pink. And we're going to use our liner brush almost like we used our round brush to do our flowers, our cactus flowers. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to lay it down. And I'm going to lay it down. And that's it. I'm going to pick up some more paint. I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to lay it down. Move my painting a little bit. And all I'm doing is putting a little bit of pressure to the top portion of my brush. And I'm making like 3 little lines that look almost like a W. It's barely even a stroke. It's just kind of like a push. And we're not going to do a lot. We just want a few of these on the crowns. Just to add a little color popping. To our succulents. Oh, it looks so pretty. You guys, I'm loving this. Okay. Okay. So what do you guys think so far? Let me give you a little bit of a close-up. Okay. Now we're sticking with our liner brush and our black now. And I'm going to use my liner brush, give it a little bit of a swirl. I want it to be nice and thin like that. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start outlining. So I'm going to outline my vase across the top, down the side, if your line gets too thick, don't fret about it. because we can always thinning it up or lighten it up with some white. Now I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to gently and lightly outline all of my cactus. Okay? See, when I concentrate, I have to like not talk. There we go. And then up here. And then last one. Okay. Doesn't that just like make such a difference, you guys? Look at that. Thank you, Cindy. Okay. Now we're going to start working on our flowers. And I'm going to make like a center here. It's almost like a big giant X cross. Okay? Then I'm going to come out here and I'm going to make another one. Come out here and make another one. And we're going to keep doing the same thing. And now I'm going along the top and I'm splitting here where I think there would be a break in the petals. And you don't want them to line up. So if I have a line here, I want another line to skip that one. And I'm coming over here and we'll put that one there. And then we'll just add this in here and that one will share it. And there is our one flower. It's not done, but that's another step to our blob. That's why we don't worry too much about our blob. Now this one I'm going to do a little bit different. This one I'm going to just do a crazy circle in the middle. And then I'm going to start doing petals. So I'm pulling out, I'm doing a little wave, and I'm coming back in. I'm pulling out, I'm doing a little wave, and I'm coming back in. Pull out, do a little wave. This one is just going to be connected there. Okay? And there. And now we're going to do the same thing. Come out here, do a little wave across the top. Come out here, do a little wave across the top. Come out here, do a little wave across the top. I'm trying to just not have our previous lines line up. And we don't want straight edges. And that's it. That's why I was like, don't worry about your blob. Okay? Then we're going to take, you can take your light green. I'm going to use this yellow green that I have. You can use one of your other greens and add a little bit of white to it. I could put white in this one just to tone it down a little bit. I'm just gently mixing it a little bit here in the corner. Oh, can you even see that? Sorry. I picked up this very bright yellow green, put it with a little white, and then I'm going to go in here and dot the centers of both of my flowers. And that's it. Okay? Let's see. And then black. Right? guys think so far? Cute, right? And you see how all of a sudden, what wasn't like, looked a little messy maybe, and okay, whatever. So. It starts as you add on the little flowers and the details, and we're going to start adding in the pricklies from the cactus. And all of a sudden it like just comes together. Okay, so I'm back to my white. I'm going to get a little bit on my liner brush, and we're going to go in here, and I like to do these, I like to pull. So I'm going to come in here and go pull, pull, pull. Get a little bit more white. Pull, pull, pull. And I'm going to start adding the, I don't know, what do you call them? The pricklies, the cactus needles, that's it. And I usually put 3 to a cluster. And they can go on different sides. And they can come off too. They don't have to be like on it. And I just keep getting a very, very light coat of paint on my liner brush. And I'm just pulling just 3 little quick, barely touching, 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a little bit of water on here because my paint is getting a little thick. So all I did was just dab the little end of my liner brush in the water, even in my dirty brush water. And I'm going to do this again now. And that's it. So I'm just coming in here and I'm going to pull, pull, pull. Got a little piece of something on my brush. Okay. And then I'm going to go the other way. Pull, pull, pull. And like I said, they can be on the outside too of the cactus. They don't all have to be within the inside on the plant part. Well, that's all on the plant, but some of them can come off like this. They don't all have to be on the face of it. And again, these get 3, like the flowers. They're in clusters of 3. And you can put as many or as few as you like. Totally up to you. And clearly mine are not all the same thickness or the same size. Some are darker, some are lighter, some are wispier, and that's all okay. And while we have the white on our brush, we're going to come in here and we're going to add little white highlights to our pink flowers right in the center. It doesn't cover up the whole thing. It's just a little dab of white just to give our flowers a little bit of highlight. Am I on? Yeah. Okay. And you see how I just have this finger out there? Your pointer is overworked. Your pointer and your thumb happen to be very strong. Your pointer gets overworked from writing and whatnot. So when I want to be gentle, and it was very, very hard for me to learn, I've said this before, it was very hard for me to get a light touch and ease up on my touch. But when I'm trying to be light about it, I have this finger out there. Don't even worry about it. Okay? And we're going to do the same thing with the leaves. I'm going to work our way down. And I'm just putting like a little comma stroke in each side of each leaf. and I work my way down the cluster. And do the same thing here. So I'm gonna work on this side, little, tiny, comma, apostrophe, whatever you want to call it. Then I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do this side, and it's just the tiniest touch. Get some more white paint. Oh, that one had a little bit green yet, it was still wet. And then again, this side. Okay. Then I want to add a little bit of white just to one side of my hearts. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to add some white highlights in my flowers. And now see, I'm doing it almost like an L. So I'm doing it on one side of the petal and along the top. One side of the petal and along the top. And I'm being uniform as I go around. And then we want to put some white in the center as well. And I'm going to do the same thing with this flower. So I'm going to come up one side and along the top. And there's nothing perfect about this. Sometimes it touches the black, sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to go to my second row. And again, Sandy, this is exactly why I said don't worry about your blobs. Because after we add all these lines and the dots for our centers, you don't even see the blobs anymore. You just see a variety of color under there. I'm just going to add a little bit of white down here. So I want my white to pop. And when I did my white at the beginning, it blended with my yellow green. So I'm adding a little bit of stronger white in here. There we go. And I think that's it, you guys. It's so pretty, no blobs. Thank you so, Cindy, I love that. I'm so glad you trusted me, woohoo! We can do a little curlicues. Curlicues are hard, you guys. But I'm gonna wet up my brush and I'm gonna go in here and gonna put a little black ink and I'll add a couple for you. These took me a long time to get, but I will do it. So, that's it. That's it. That's it. Okay. Don't want to get carried away. Sometimes I have to say brushes down. So, there we go. Hello. It's me again. Anyway. Oh, I forgot something. Let's do this. I'm getting out, I think I'm doing this, I'm going to do this bright green. I'm going to come down here. I'm just putting my initials, so didn't have to see that. They're just right down here in the corner, just so I know. Anyway, so there it is, you guys. This is one, and look, totally different. This was the other one I painted, and now this is one I painted. Totally different, and that's okay. I think I used different pinks for this one too. Oh, and obviously I did the purple tabletop. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me. I will be posting up the kit and the free class for May. Oh my God, it's almost May. Coming up, okay? Don't forget, this is the premiere class in Zoom next week. And I would love to have you guys paint with me. And then these are my 2 new kits. I have lots of other kits on my website too. These are just, I like to show you how these go together. There we go. Isn't that cute? So, anyway, thank you for joining me. It is always my pleasure to paint with you guys. I love you guys. Thanks for offering me therapy just by being here, and I can paint with you and be in my painting zone. Love you guys. Have a great night, and I will talk to you soon.